Oh, what a beautiful striped design. What kind of design do you think this is? Sunlight is allowed to shine through a narrow slit. Then it passes through another slit, a double slit. As we observe this through a camera, we can actually see the effects of light interference. Now, with a double slit of narrower aperture, we are able to see the interference patterns. When the aperture of the double slit is even narrower, the gaps between the stripes of the interference pattern widen. The phenomenon of interference also occurs in ripples of water. Here we have set up equipment for generating waves on the water's surface. First, a tank is filled with water. Well, can you suppose what's going to happen next? Barriers have been placed in the middle of the ripples. Pay special attention to the shape of the ripples after passing through the gap between the two barriers. Now we are going to experiment with ripples which travel in straight lines, not circular ones. Here are the straight ripples which we've made. barriers are placed in the water again. What's happening to the ripples passing through the two barriers? Once the ripples, which were travelling in a straight line, pass through the gap between the barriers, they begin to radiate out in a semicircular pattern. This phenomenon is called diffraction. Now you will be able to clearly observe the diffraction phenomenon. What do you suppose will happen to the shape of the ripples after a shorter barrier is placed between the right and left barriers? That's right. The ripples passing through the gaps in the barriers interact among themselves. The same phenomenon occurs when we observe the interference of light. In order to make this easier to understand, we will prepare the equipment so that two sets of circular ripples can be generated simultaneously. Well, how's this? The pattern produced by the interference of two sets of ripples is very easy to observe, isn't it? This can be explained by using two sheets of plastic on which concentric circles have been etched. The reason we were able to see the patterns is because interference was actually occurring in this manner. Light acts just as these ripples on the surface of the water. Light passing through the slits diffracts, spreading out into the space beyond the screen. At the same time, light from one slit interferes with the light from the other, clearly showing the interference pattern. Properties of light is that it travels in the same way as fluid waves.